All right, well, let's get started. Welcome to my Lunch and Learn series webinars. I'm hosting webinars like this, free resources for small business owners and others. The first and third Wednesdays of the month. This is our third one in the series. The last two we did, one was on procrastination, one was on productivity. Now we're moving into a little bit of sales here. You're going to be mixing and matching. There's no rhyme or reason to what topics I'm hosting when. It's more so when my clients are working with something and they need some help, or a topic comes to mind that I think everybody could benefit from, then we'll launch it. So sales, marketing, productivity, leadership, all of the above. And so hopefully I get to see a lot of yous moving forward. So without further ado, we'll get started. This webinar, it's all about next step selling. And the title I put, Missing a Step, is probably why you're losing sales. If you are an experienced salesperson, this might be a good recap. If you are not an experienced salesperson, but you're forced to do sales, you're a business owner and you realize I still have to sell, this will also help you. Hopefully you'll walk away with at least one or two takeaways from this. So do a quick kickoff introduction to me and my company. We'll get into the meat of next step selling, and then we'll save some time for Q&A and additional resources at the end. A little bit about me. I am a small business advisor with Cultivate Advisors. Who is Cultivate? We're a team of small business owners, previous and current small business owners that are dedicated full-time now to helping other business owners. To give you a little bit of idea of what we do, our mission as a company is to partner with committed entrepreneurs in propelling their businesses beyond expectations. And when I say beyond expectations, you as a business owner may say, yeah, I want to hit this goal in 2 years. We're going to help try to speed that up. We're going to help try to make it better and exceed expectations. We got about 50 of us advisors throughout North America, and we all have run our own businesses for at least 10 years. We've had successful exits, different industries, different backgrounds. But what we do is custom advising. There's no cookie cutter here. We have a methodology, but we work with business owners to what they need at that particular time and moving forward. Each one of us advisors, we work with anywhere from 15 to 18 clients. So we're not having 40, 50 people we're working with, very small number of clients we work with. Well, like I mentioned, we do have a methodology we work with. Sometimes we're helping with financials. So an example of that is helping control cash flow and scaling profits. On the marketing piece, we help you feel in control of a lead engine and make it sustainable. On the sales, which we're kind of talking about today, we help you grow top line revenue and make it repeatable without you. On the leadership piece, some things we work on is scaling your business through people, doing it efficiency and allowing you to be able to delegate with it and create a culture that you're proud of that represents your brand. On the recruiting piece, helping you find reliable performers that allows your business to scale. The productivity piece, sometimes it's helping you feel in control of your time, running the business versus the business running you. So that's, like I said, it's all custom, but we have a methodology in what we work with. We've worked over 1,000 businesses so far in our portfolio, and we are industry agnostic. We're in over 200 industries. The reason why I share this is we brought this model of advising to many businesses, many different sizes, and it continues to be valued. I know we can help incorporate the sales stuff into any business that you may be running. We focus on not just growing top line growth, but also profit. We're not just a drive a bunch of revenue coaching model. We're actually more about driving profit. That's what we do to solve in business, and we're damn good at it. Inc. Magazine, top 5,000. We not only talk the talk, we walk the walk. So this is why, to be able to share this, we know what we're doing. And so we've 2 years in a row have hit this list, 280 in 2019, and last year during the pandemic number 782. A little bit about me. I've got over 20 years experience owning, operating businesses. I love building things. I love helping people. I have what I call older brother syndrome. All my friends and family and colleagues, everybody's have always come to me for advice. So I love doing these webinars. I love teaching. I love sharing information. You can see some of my achievements there. A lot of successes in the starting a business from scratch, in the purchasing a business that is failing and turning into a profitable operation, and also helping a small business at 4.5 mil grow to 25 mil. So I've got experience in kind of all the different small business realms. So we're going to send a quick poll out real quick before we get into this. I want to know, what is your sales closing percentage? Are you a really good salesperson, 90% plus, 70, 89, 50, or you don't know? So I'll give you about 15 seconds here for you to go ahead and answer. It looks like this may not be working. So anyways, I like to find out where people sit in their sales game. Anything over 50% of conversion is considered fantastic. 30 to 49 is considered good. Under 30% is considered subpar. We need some improvement. And if you're not tracking your sales closing percentage, something definitely you should start to incorporate, start learning, because you can learn a lot about your business. It can help you scale and grow your business to where you want to reach. So let's dive into it. How many times have you walked into a sales pitch feeling good about it, and then crickets? You don't hear anything back from them. It's extremely frustrating. How many times you felt nervous during a sales pitch? How many times you get a quick no, or even worse, how many of you feel like a sleazy used car salesman when it comes to sales? So there's webinars to identify that many of us are moving way too fast in a sales pitch. I'll be sharing proven techniques that will not only increase your sales, but will leave you feeling better about selling. You wouldn't expect a client to sign a deal on your very first conversation, right? So got a couple of videos here for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for meeting me here tonight.
Of course. When I saw your profile, we just have so much in common.
You know we do. Let's just get right to this. Do you think I'm attractive? Where do you live? How much do you make? Do you see yourself having children with me?
Oh, what's that?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, it's my phone.
I didn't hear a ring.
Oh, what's that? It's an emergency. Oh, can I help you right there?
Who was it?
Something's come up. I have to run. Bye.
Wait. You didn't answer my questions.
So hopefully none of you guys have ever done this on a first date. If you have, you definitely got to recognize that's not what you should be doing. But people do it in sales all the time. So let's have a look at what happens in the sales process when you skip steps.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it.
Of course, no problem.
So that's the basics of it. And if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I can send over a proposal today.
You seem like a very nice guy, man. I loved your presentation. I was really interested in it. Unfortunately, my business partners who are usually here with me are not here right now. So I cannot make these kinds of decisions without them. But also, I don't know you that well. I don't know your company that well. I'm going to have to respectfully decline.
No, I totally get it. But when would be a good time to get all your partners together on the phone?
So you see how that looks? First, he went for the proposal. Then when that failed, he went right for the partners. And guess what? That's going to fail too. How many of us have experienced that? You get on the phone, you're feeling good about your sale, you pump yourself up, and you get shut down. Right? So what we're going to incorporate here is going to prevent this from happening and helping you close more deals. So let's look at correcting that. So our agenda is 4 different things on what we're going to accomplish today. We're going to first define your sales steps. We're going to talk about selling to the next step. We're going to add value at each step. And then you're actually going to schedule next steps. You incorporate these things I'm about to teach you, I promise you, your sales conversions are going to increase. So lesson 1, define your sales steps. When we define our sales steps, we're actually creating a sales funnel. You've completed your, as we call IC, your initial phone call, your pitch. What's your next step? Is it face-to-face? Is it a demonstration, a proposal walkthrough? Whatever it is, that is your next step, and that's what you need to sell to. And then if you already have a sales process in place, well, we need to clearly communicate that to our prospect. Because the only decision we have to make at every single step of our sales process is, should we keep going to the next step, or should we stop right now, or should we not go into an offer, right? At every step, should we move on to the next step, or should we call it quits? Right, so you need to make sure you have these steps in place. So identify first contact, that initial conversation. First contact, you might meet somebody at a networking event. Schedule a conversation. Maybe your next step is scheduling an audit or a demo. That's the next step. All you got to do, hey, let's commit to that. Once you get that demo, they show up, then you schedule it, you sell to the next. You're not going from 0 to 60 right from the start. So it's divided into several steps, right? Like I said, stage one is that initial phone call. This is where you, from a high level, find out some of the needs and then share from a high level how you can help them. Stage two, and this is recommended. You don't need to do this. Your business may have a lot more stages. Your business may have less, but this is kind of the norm. So you got the demo schedule. This should happen at the end of stage one. You do your best to not leave that initial stage one phone call without scheduling the next meeting. If you leave it as, oh, you know what, I'll get back to you, or yeah, let's email back and forth. Let's go, yeah, let's connect next week, and you don't actually schedule it, at least 5 times out of 10, maybe even 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. So you need to make sure right from that meeting, hey, let's go ahead and look at our calendars. Let's lock in the next meeting. It will help that accountability because it's already on somebody's calendar. It'll help your show up ratio. Stage 3. So good work. They showed up for your demo, but it's not time to sell yet. It's your time to dive deeper into their needs, headaches, wants, and show off your skills or product and how it could solve their issues. This is where you build the trust and excitement, but you do not solve their issues here. You showcase how you can solve their issues, but if you solve it here, why would they hire you? If you give them too much, and so I kind of use the analogy, you're looking under the hood of the engine, and you are looking to be like, okay, this ain't good. We need to work on this. You know, here's a couple suggestions of what we could do. This right here too. Yeah, I think we need to kind of fix this and upgrade this a little bit more, but you are not fixing the engine right there. You need to move on and do that actually after you close a deal. Stage 4, you're pitching, your prices, you're negotiating a price, right? You spent the last hour or so, maybe even longer, demoing them, getting them excited, sharing, yeah, I have something that can help you. That's when you ask for the deal. That's when you ask for the close. And that closing is not this used car cheesy salesperson. It's like, hey, this makes sense, right? Makes sense to you. Are we aligned in what, you know, our next step should be or what we should work on together? We're aligned. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and let's talk what this relationship looks like. That's when you pitch, right? You've done a phone call, you scheduled a demo, you've done a demo, and then you go ahead and then pitch once you are aligned. Okay. Close deal, I just mentioned, right? But you can also close deals at any stage. If you're lucky during that first phone call, they've already done their research, they've already talked to some of your other clients, and they're like, you know what, David, let's rock and roll, let's do it. Boom. You don't need to wait the steps to close, but you do need to wait to give your pitch. But also, I want you to recognize that you could lose a lead at any of these moments. You need to make sure you're communicating, giving value at each step, which we're going to get into. But you can lose these leads at any points. I want to note, demo schedule and demo complete are 2 separate stages. Right? It's tempting to combine them, but again, like getting them to show up, that's the first goal after stage 1. You just got to get them to show up, right? And then you actually could track these metrics of like, what is your actual show up rate versus closing rates? Then you start looking and realize like, wow, yeah, if they show up, I close them, but a lot of them don't show up. So then you need to figure out, why are they not showing up? Are you booking too far out in the future? Are you not getting them excited enough? Whatever it is, you need to address that. Lesson 2, this is selling to the next step. Right? It's very simple, but it's very hard to follow through on. right? You spent all the time in a meeting. There better be a result or something to follow up based on decisions made or the brainstorming completed. All right, it's important to finish meetings with clear to-dos and in selecting who's a driver of who's going to do what. All right, so you're not just leaving a meeting you scheduled, that's one thing, but also if you can, give some sort of to-do. Hey, I'm going to send you an email with a couple questions, or hey, before our meeting, go ahead and send me a copy for me. Maybe send you a copy of your P&L so I can start diving into, so I can be better prepared for our meeting. Whatever it is, try to get some sort of to-do for you to do and for them to do. When they send it to you, you know that the chances of them showing up the next step are much higher than when they don't send it to you. Let me have my notes, sorry. So it's a sales funnel, right? And a higher closing ratio, we go more product, more revenue, right? People don't understand that sales funnels, it's just a numbers game. If you're in sales, you know this, right? You got to get the top of funnel, you got the middle funnel, you got to get a bunch of people in there and then funnel them through. Your closing will get better as you incorporate these techniques that I'm going to teach you, to where maybe right now you need 100 people in that top of funnel. And let's say 50 of them go through. And then out of those 50, maybe 15 go into demo and you close 30% of them, right? So that's 100 to the clients, 5 clients. If we could increase your skills, if we could do a better job in each one of these steps, maybe you only need 50 in a top of funnel, and then your marketing efforts are much more easy. So lesson 3, I already kind of mentioned this. You want to add value at each step. If you want your prospect to go through each of these steps in order to close a deal, it's your responsibility to make sure there's value for your prospect at every single step, right? We've identified the 4 steps already. At each stage, you're going to give them some sort of value, some excitement, how you can solve their issues, or even a quick hint of advice, teasing them into wanting more, basically. When you do that, you're going to create a series of wins that you get to experience with your prospects. Each and every step, there's these little wins and there's more excitement, right? Sales is helping people. And if you approach sales as helping the person and adding value, it'll put a positive perspective on it. Feeling everything in your problem solving and your sales skills, just making you feel better, not sleazy. You're helping somebody. You have a product or a service that you started a business or you joined a team because you believe in it. You need to get them just as excited about it and realize this can help them out. Another way that you can add value is by using what we call PODE. All right, PODE stands for purpose, outcome, agenda, decision. The purpose is the why. Why are we having this conversation? Why are we here? How many times have you sat through somebody's sales phone call and you're shooting the shit, going back and forth and having a good conversation, but there's no reason, there's no why, there's no direction, right? So at the beginning of the conversation, hey, the reason I wanted to jump on the call with you, the purpose of this meeting, those phrases helps stage the conversation, stage the meeting, and set the expectations. The outcome, this is the one. The outcome for this webinar is I want you to be able to walk away with 1 or 2 takeaways that you can incorporate today or in your very next sales meeting, right? The outcome, this is the what. What are we going to accomplish in our time together? The agenda, this is the how, right? Being able to say, I'm going to give you a quick intro. We're going to dive into the meat, and then we got time for Q&A. Being able to set that up and give people the expectations so they know what they're getting into, and also so they don't feel like they're wasting their time. And then a decision, this is the one that's most commonly missed, and I also think it's the most important. What is the decision we're going to make today? Should we move on to the next step of the sales process, or should we stop the conversation? Right? On a webinar like this, your decision is, do you want more information from me? Do you want to learn more? Do you want to sign up for more webinars? Or are you not going to take this and not do anything with it? Are you going to take this advice and incorporate it, right? There's decisions at every single point. So I want to be clear, even in meetings, not just sales meetings, never hold a meeting unless there's a clear PODE, unless there's a clear purpose, outcome, and outcomes to accomplish. You got a staff meeting. I know a lot of my clients, when I first started working with them, they would have staff meetings, and the staff, they wouldn't be excited to show up. They'd show up late and blah, blah, because they were just these waste of time meetings. But when you go into meetings with a purpose, with an outcome, and share the agenda and have a decision for them to make afterwards, your meetings are going to start to be meaningful. And you're going to start to see that translate through your sales, through your team productivity, and et cetera. So let's see what that looks like.
Thank you for chatting with me today. The reason for this call is simply to introduce you to our services to see if we're even off on the right path, right? So I'm going to walk you through 3 examples of our services, and the only real decision that you need to make today is when can we schedule a face-to-face so I can give you a live demo?
All right, so you see the difference. All right, it is setting the intentions. It's making sure with whoever you're on the phone with, this is what we're going to do. This is the reason we're talking about, or we're having this meeting, right? It changes the dynamic. It changes from this, all right, get to the point. How many times have you accepted an unknown phone call, a phone number, and you're waiting, you're like, oh, just get to the point. Just get to the point so I can say no, right? But if they start with the meeting like, hey, the reason I'm calling you is so-and-so gave me your name. Oh yeah, I know so-and-so. Or the reason I'm calling is you've attended my webinar, right? Oh yeah, David from the webinar, right? It helps make you seem less spammy. Another way to add value in your sales process is to keep the focus on the prospect. Always stay focused on the prospect and their needs. Too often times I see that sales reps are focused on what needs to happen for me to land my sale. We need to flip that. What do I need to do in order for the prospect to feel comfortable and excited to be ready to move to the next step? That is what the mindset should be. Oh, it's not skipping. There we go. And then it also gives you an opportunity to start measuring, start setting quantitative goals, right? Then you can sit there and realize, all right, for every 400 messages we send out equals 4 deals. And you start tracking that, start setting goals for yourself, start setting goals for your team. This piece here is probably one of the pieces that I see most salespeople miss, unless they are part of a big team, unless they have a manager that sets these goals for them. If you are a business owner, a solopreneur, most that I see do not set these goals. You got to start tracking these metrics so you can start to project for the future. Then you can increase. If we can increase that to 300 marketing messages and 200 and still get 4 deals, start working on each step and getting each stage better and better and learning how to deliver more value and how to better present that stage. Doing this is going to help you, what I call, create a performance culture or a results-driven culture. That's what you want your team to be, what you want your business to be. We're in business to make money, yes, to help people and everything else, but you want to have a performance culture. You want to have a team that is based on results, not based on, yeah, we got a good team, but we're not hitting our goals. Got to be results-driven culture. Lesson 4, if you don't schedule it, you probably won't do it. This is one of the most overlooked things, and it drives me nuts. Or you've done all this hard work to move them through the sales process, or you have a phenomenal sales meeting with them. And at the end of it, you finish with some vague, I'll get back to you. Do they ever get back to you? It's one of the most frustrating things. So you get off a meeting and you're like, man, I felt great. That was awesome. And then crickets. And then it ghosts you. And you don't do. You need to schedule the next step. So let's show a little video here.
Would you like to do this again?
Of course. I'll call you.
Brilliant. She said she'd call. She'll call. She'll call. She's not gonna call.
Hello?
Why didn't you call?
Look familiar? Sometimes we end up sending emails of, hey, just checking in, or a phone call of, hey, just touching base. You need to stop that. They're not necessary. You need to solidify a timeline and next step after the meeting, and you won't have to do it anymore. And guess what? Not everyone's going to want to take that next step, and that's okay. It's better to hear a no than to spend a ton of time pacing around and wondering if. If you've got a whole list of maybes, you need to get rid of that list. You need to contact them, and if they don't respond back, put them as a no, or maybe a not yet. But having maybes just takes so much mental and emotional energy away from you, so much time and so much work. If you're going to spend that much time with this prospect, it's important you accomplish something out of it, right? You need to make sure you're scheduling very clear next steps. And when somebody says, oh yeah, I don't know, it's 2021. We all, if you're especially in your business, we all use our Google calendars, some sort of calendar. We could find a time.
Would you like to do this?
So to summarize, define your sales steps, sell to the next step, add value at each step, schedule the next steps. You're going to build trust with your prospect. You're going to save yourself time in the sales process. And most importantly, you're going to save yourself from coming across as too aggressive. So don't forget to sell the next step. Came to this webinar not doing these things, I promise your sales are going to dramatically increase.
So that's the basics. And if that sounds like something that might be interesting to you, I can send over a proposal today.
Bill, have a next step.
Why?
You're a better salesman when you have a next step.
Much better. So that's
All right. So we'll have some time for Q&A, but I want to make sure that you're walking away with some options if you want more resources and more help. So next steps, first off, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, we've got these Lunch and Learn webinars the first and third Wednesdays of the month. The next one that we're doing is increasing team production and buy-in. It's one of my favorite topics to get more out of your team, get them to feel more ownership, right? How many times as a business owner, you're like, God, nobody understands what I understand, and nobody works as hard as I do. Well, there's certain ways that you could actually get more of that. Another option, we got some free resources, no strings attached, and training content. Got some worksheets, got some other, short clips and videos that I could send to you. Like I said, no strings attached, just some really good stuff that'll help you set your business up or take it to the next level. And if you are a business owner and you want more, if you've got a team, even if you're not a business owner, but you've got like a big sales team, and you realize some of the stuff we went over here, they need help with, set up some time with me. I'm glad to give an hour free advising. Again, no strings attached. This is literally a way for me to share my knowledge and expertise, get my name out there, and help people. It's why I get into what I do. I love it. So I'm going to drop a form here in the chat. If you have any interest in any of these, there's a form there for you to fill out. Go ahead and click on that. Otherwise, I hope to see you all at the next webinars, June 2nd at noon. All right, you guys, do these easy steps to increase team performance. Otherwise, that's the end of our webinar. If you have any questions, any comments, feel free to come off mute. Otherwise, I hope to see you in a couple weeks here. Thanks, everybody.